Hello guys, today I'm going to analyze two companies from the fashion industry. The first one is EsteeLauder, the second company is Phillips-Van Heusen. Now, originally I was supposed to analyze L'Oreal as well in this video. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to locate their annual report and the figures I needed. I have emailed L'Oreal. I have emailed them and I requested their annual reports. However, I have not received a response yet from the company. When they eventually answer me, I will make a video about their company. But for now, let us focus on the two companies. Let us first analyze their respective share price and their respective earnings. From Yahoo Finance, we can see that EsteeLauder bet its third and fourth quarterly earning last year, and they have bet their first and second quarterly earning this year. And here we see that their third quarterly earning estimate for this year is the same as their third quarterly estimate from last year. In terms of the share price, the company at the beginning of the pandemic was at 195 and it reached a peak of 370. Moving on, Phillips-Van Heusen. Phillips-Van Heusen bet its third and fourth quarterly earning from last year. It bet by a significant amount its first quarterly earning estimate this year, and it has beaten its second quarterly earning estimate for this year. Unfortunately, we do not have an estimate for their third quarterly earning. In terms of the share price, the company at the beginning of the pandemic was at 87 and it reached a peak of 114 during this time period. Let us now move on to their respective annual reports. The first company I would like to analyze is EsteeLauder. Now, although as the Russian market is no longer available to the company, the management was still able to increase the company's profitability and their potential future growth. Revenue rose from 14,863 million in 2019 to 16,215 million in 2021. Similarly, the company experienced a drastic increase in income from 1,794 million in 2019 to 2,875 million in 2021. Another great thing about their financial statement is their current assets and current liability ratio. a large portion of current liabilities is made out of accounts payable, which is a very good thing. The only concern I have with their financial statement is their large inventory. This is a small concern. So inventory does increase expenses for the company. It increases the costs of carry, for example. That being said, the financial statement looks very good. So this is a small concern. If the company, if management wants to increase their profitability, if they want to make their financial statement even better, they could reduce inventory in the near future. Lastly, I'd like to talk about income and equity ratio. Equity during this time period rose by 38%, and on the other hand, income rose by 60% during this time period. This is very good news to us as investors, and it's a good indication that the company is doing well. Hopefully, this pattern continues into the future. Now that is all I have to say about EsteeLauder. Let's now move on to Phillips-Van Heusen. Now, Phillips-Van Heusen's results are worse than EsteeLauder's. EsteeLauder managed to increase their growth potential and their profitability during this time period. On the other hand, Phillips-Van Heusen managed to recover their 2020 results during this time period. Unfortunately, revenue for the company fell from 9,909 million in 2020 to 9,154 million in 2022. That being said, the company managed to increase their income from 415 million to 952 million in 2022. Now, the reason for this increase in income is the reduction in expenses, in a reduction in cost of goods sold, and a reduction in general and administrative expenses. Now, it's nice to see that Phillips-Van Heusen's management is actively trying to reduce the company's expenses, and hopefully they manage to reduce their expenses further and increase their revenue. Now, current assets and current liabilities are better for Phillips-Van Heusen. A larger portion of current liabilities is made out of accounts payable for Phillips-Van Heusen, and a much smaller amount of current assets is made out of accounts receivable. The last thing I would like to mention is the company's long-term assets and their long-term liabilities. The company's long-term assets fell from 10,236,000,000 in 2020 to 8,743,000,000 in 2022. Consequently, long-term liabilities fell from 5,460,000,000 in 2020 to 4,320,000,000 in 2022. Now, this indicates to me that the company is selling their long-term assets which are no longer profitable for the company, and they're using the cash from these sales in order to reduce their long-term liabilities. This again is very good news, and it indicates to me that the company is under good management. In any case, that is all I have to say about Phillips-Van Heusen. Let's now rate the two companies. As mentioned before, I do not have yet the annual reports for L'Oréal, so I'm not going to review them in this video. Once I receive a response from the company, once they provide me with the annual reports, I will make a video about them. In any case, I'm going to place EsteeLauder in the buy section. This time period was a difficult time period for companies, yet EsteeLauder managed to improve their profitability and their growth. They increased their income by a larger margin than their equity, and their current assets and current liability ratio is very good. Finally, I'm going to place PVH Phillips-Van Heusen in the OK section, leaning towards the buy section. The company's financial statement was worse than EsteeLauder's. That being said, it's still very good. The only thing I'd like to see is a further increase in revenue for the company and a further increase in income. Once that happens, I'll put them in the buy section. In any case, this is all I have to say about the two companies. In the next video, I am going to talk about insurance companies: Globe Life, the Hartford, Lincoln, and MetLife. In any case, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe.